What up, YouTube? T-Moose here. Now, it's reported that Paramount Pictures is literally developing a remake of the 1987 film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Now, not only they're developing it, but they already announced its two lead cast. It's reported that Will Smith and Kevin Hart will be teaming up to star in the upcoming remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And the film will be scripted by Brooklyn Nine-Nine writer Aisha Cara. Now, the original film was directed by John Hughes, of course best known for Breakfast Club fame, and stars Steve Martin and John Candy as this mismatched duo who are forced to become bunkmates and traveling partners in a desperate attempt to get home to the loved ones for Thanksgiving after their flights becomes canceled. So, yeah, I mean, you know, the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's a classic. You got Steve Martin and John Candy. Those two really play off each other perfectly. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure Will Smith is going to be playing the Steve Martin role, while Kevin Hart will be portraying the John Candy role. Now, one thing about this, they technically did do a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It got released in 2010, titled Due Date, with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. That kind of felt like a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But you know what? I don't know if the remake will be any good or not. Like, I'm curious to see who they're going to actually direct this. There's possibility, like, interesting possibilities. Maybe you could get, I don't know, Tim Story, who of course worked with Kevin Hart on the Ride Along movies. You can get him to direct this. It's going to be interesting to see who they're going to get you as the filmmaker for this. But anyway, now this is also pretty funny because this is actually literally the second John Candy movie that Kevin Hart is going to be. This is actually the second John Candy film that is getting remade that is supposed to have Kevin Hart in it. Because a couple years ago it was announced that Kevin Hart was going to star in a remake of The Great Outdoors. Remember the comedy with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy? So this is like the second remake of a John Candy film that Kevin Hart is attached to. So that's pretty cool right there. Anyway, I know when you hear the word remake, lots of people are not really fond of it, but you know, I'm okay with remakes because if it sucks, who cares? Still got the original. But I'm kind of at least intrigued by this. I mean, you know, Will Smith and Kevin Hart teaming up together, that should, like, they're also set to produce this, so there's that. But Kevin Hart and Will Smith starring in a film together, that could be pretty cool to watch. Granted, who knows if it'll be as good as the original. I mean, the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's a comedy that still holds up today. You know, it's definitely one of the funniest 80s comedies there was. You know, you had like Steve Martin and John Candy both had great chemistry in the original. So who are you gonna get to possibly like? Will Smith and Kevin Hart have the same exact chemistry that both Candy and Martin had in the original? I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to check out. I mean, like I said, it could be terrible. That's a possibility, but I'm at least intrigued by this, you know. And Will Smith, we know he could do comedy. We've seen that with Fresh Prince. We've seen that with Bad Boys. Will Smith is a pretty hilarious guy. So seeing him team up with a comic like Kevin Hart could be interesting to watch. Anyway, as for Will Smith and Kevin Hart, they have a few other projects in the works as well. Will Smith will be portraying the role of Serena and Venus Williams' dad in King Richard. He'll be seeing the Netflix sequel Bright 2, a crime film titled The Council, and a Apple Plus film titled Emancipation. Kevin Hart's upcoming projects, of course, he was just seen on the QB series Die Hard with John Travolta, which was actually pretty funny. He'll also be singing the action comedy The Man from Toronto with Woody Harrelson, the comedy My Own Worst Enemy. He's supposed to do another ride-along movie, but we'll see what happens to that one. He's going to be starring in a Monopoly film. He's going to be starring in another remake of an 80s film, which is Scrooge. He's essentially starring in a Chris Rock directed film titled Co-Parenting, and a superhero film titled Nightwolf. So he has a few other stuff coming out as well. So this... Oh, and not to mention, Kevin Hart was also attached to starring a remake of Uptown Saturday Night. Remember the Cosby film that got released in in like the 80s or 70s. He was supposed to sign a remake of that, but that never really came to fruition yet. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are your thoughts on Will Smith and Kevin Hart starring in a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Are you interested in checking out a remake of it? Would you actually be like, were you ever a fan of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? And are you a fan of both Will Smith and Kevin Hart? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Moves, signing off.